Welcome to the Soul Dojo, your online temple of spirituality and self-improvement. You are here because you have embarked on your spiritual path to reach your inner light. Let us break the ice straight away. You have a great darkness within. You are not as positive and as good as you think you are, and that's okay. The only way of achieving the light you desire is by navigating through your own darkness. Let that sit in. What if I told you that the root cause to all of your problems is the parts of you that you suppress subconsciously? Ignoring your own shadow and suppressing it for years is, according to Carl Jung, the root cause of most suffering and a reason why society has a hard time advancing spiritually. But worry not, we are here to shed light on this darkness. The structure of this guide is as follows. First, we explain the idea of the shadow self. Second, we will show you how to identify and awaken your shadow. Finally, we will show you techniques of how to integrate your shadow within you and become a better, fuller, wiser being. The shadow, a psychological term coined by Carl Jung, encompasses the unacknowledged aspects of our personality, including negative emotions and impulses like rage, envy, greed, selfishness, and the pursuit of power. It also includes qualities and traits we disown, both positive and negative. The shadow consists of unconscious material, which is often more extensive than our conscious awareness. Exploring the shadow can lead to increased authenticity, creativity, energy, personal growth, and maturity. This guide delves into the concept of the shadow self, offering advice and exercises for daily shadow work and integrating the shadow. Shadow work is essentially the process of uncovering and understanding the aspects of yourself that exist in your unconscious mind, those qualities and attributes that you've pushed aside because they didn't align with your self-identity. This work involves bringing these hidden elements into your conscious awareness. You can break down shadow work into two main stages. First, getting to know your shadow by becoming aware of it, and second, integrating it into your conscious self. The ultimate objective of shadow work is to reconcile these opposites within yourself and move towards a state of wholeness. When you embark on the journey of shadow work, you'll likely find that you're one-sided, as described by Jung, disconnected from various dimensions of your being. Bringing your unconscious aspects to light and fusing them with your conscious mind requires considerable moral effort, as the shadow poses a moral challenge to your entire ego personality. Recognizing the dark aspects of your personality is essential for genuine self-knowledge, even though it can be uncomfortable and is often overlooked. The origin of the shadow can be traced back to childhood, where every child experiences both positive and negative emotions like kindness and anger. These emotions are fundamental to our shared human experience, but as we grow, society shapes us. Traits associated with being good are accepted, while those linked with bad behavior are rejected. This adaptation to societal norms is driven by our innate biological needs for things like safety and belonging. When we express certain disapproved parts of ourselves, we receive negative feedback from our environment, which threatens these basic needs. To satisfy these needs, we adapt our behavior and conceal or repress the undesirable aspects. The parts of ourselves that we deny or reject during our formative years don't disappear. They are bundled together and pushed into our unconscious, outside our conscious awareness. These disowned elements of our personality become what Carl Jung referred to as the personal shadow. While we may consciously attempt to eliminate them, we cannot get rid of them entirely. Instead, they remain repressed and hidden in our unconscious, which is the domain of everything we are not aware of about ourselves. This repressed shadow follows us like a hidden sibling, often standing right behind us, as creepy as that may sound. Jung recognized that there is no light without shadow and no psychic wholeness without embracing imperfection, emphasizing the importance of acknowledging and integrating our personal shadow in our pursuit of self-realization. What can you gain from shadow work? If unlocking your true self and becoming one entire being is not convincing enough, here are a few ways in which shadow work can transform you. Greater creativity. Engaging in Jungian shadow work can unlock your creative potential. Creativity is often more spontaneous in mentally healthy and integrated individuals. As part of this process, you may find yourself drawn to acts of self-expression like drawing, painting, dancing, or writing. Clearer perception. Approaching your authentic self through shadow work results in a more realistic self-assessment. This clarity allows you to view yourself and others without the distortions caused by self-deception, leading to a more accurate assessment of your environment and a better understanding of situations. Psychological integration and maturity. Denying and repressing your shadow prevents a sense of wholeness and psychological maturity. Integrating the shadow is a critical step toward achieving a unified and balanced mind, bringing you closer to mature psychological development. Enhanced energy and physical health. Repressing and suppressing unwanted parts of yourself is draining and can result in fatigue, lethargy, physical pain, disease, and addictive behaviors. Shadow work liberates the energy invested in self-protection, greatly improving physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Improved relationships. Integrating your shadow allows you to see yourself more clearly and accept your darker aspects. This, in turn, makes it easier to accept the shadow in others. The result is fewer triggers, better communication, and enhanced relationships with family, friends, and associates. That is great. How do you actually attempt shadow work? First, it is important to have strong foundations before attempting shadow work. If you are struggling with extremely low self-esteem and depression, this type of work can overwhelm you and in turn further depress you as your shadow is bigger than you thought it could ever be. To yield constructive results when exploring your shadow self, you must first establish a centered state. Your shadow encompasses a collection of concealed aspects within your psyche, and to truly understand these parts, you must approach them from a centered perspective. If any of these aspects are blended with your current state, it can distort the process, leading to judgment, criticism, or confusion. Achieving a calm, clear, and neutral space, called your center, is essential before embarking on your shadow work. Then you need to have compassion for yourself. No matter what arises, you have to be your own friend. You cannot hate yourself for parts of you that are suppressed. It is the nature of the game. If you can look at your dark self with love instead of fear and rejection, that is where true progress begins. Confronting your shadow can be challenging if you tend to be self-critical when making mistakes. If shame and guilt are familiar emotions, it's essential to transform them through kindness, self-acceptance, and self-compassion. Begin by acknowledging your own human nature, recognizing that everyone possesses a shadow. Nobody is exempt, as Jung would say. There are many Buddhist practices that can help you connect with your heart through meditation and mindfulness practices. On a side note, take a deep breath right now. You are here, you have made it this far to realize your own shadow is the root cause of your problems. Be gentle to yourself. You are doing great and will only go up from here. Back to shadow work. I want to address a last topic before showing you how to actually perform shadow work, and that is the importance of keeping a record. Write your discoveries down after each shadow work session and read your previous discoveries every now and then and before starting a new session. Jung's insight. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Shows the first exercise of shadow work. This one is not happening when you decide at home. This one is constantly happening in social environments. Next time someone's behavior triggers you in a negative way, instantly realize you're being triggered. Take a step back and analyze the situation. One reacts the strongest to the things he hates about himself. Look at it from an outsider perspective and realize where your shadow lies. Identifying it is the first step and will facilitate shadow work. Now, to actual exercises that you are in control of. You can look the internet up for many different shadow work prompts. These will be a set of sentences that will trigger deep emotions within you and reanimate very painful moments of your life. Going through them again is necessary to understand which part of you became part of your shadow on that specific occasion. Once you are in this state, you need to dialogue with your suppressed parts. I will give you an example of shadow work prompt. You just listen to the question and see which emotions arise within you. No judgment, just observation. Here we go. When was the last time I felt jealous of someone else? What do they have that I want? Here is another one for you to get a better idea. When you put on a mask to show others a specific version of yourself, what part of you are you trying to hide? And a last one, what core memory from your childhood makes you feel shame? I hope that was not too heavy. Let's move on. In this final section, we delve into the last phase of shadow work, which is the integration of your shadow. This process involves bringing the hidden and disowned aspects of your personality into your conscious awareness, making them a part of your identity. Each integrated element reduces inner fragmentation and leads you toward wholeness, transforming your personality along the way. For instance, consider the scenario where you feel anger when you catch someone lying, believing that you would never do the same. Through facing this aspect of your shadow, you come to acknowledge that you too engage in falsehoods, even to yourself. As a result, when others lie, you can observe it without becoming angry. Each step in this integration journey leads you closer to wholeness, and it's a transformative experience for your personality. Shadow integration is a gradual journey that demands patience and involves numerous confrontations with your ego. You will have to fight your own ego. As soon as you think to yourself, "I'm a good person," your mind will immediately start to edit out all of the things you do, think, or say that aren't consistent with this statement. As a result, you suffer from your repressed shadow and probably cause others to suffer too. Worst is, you are not even aware of it. You have to identify all your aspects, shadow or light, and embrace them, accept them. Only then will you become one with yourself and reach levels of stoicism and strength that are unparalleled in the modern world. In the journey of acquainting and integrating our shadow, we essentially deconstruct our conscious self-identity. This process involves deliberately challenging our ego identity through various methods. We confront our ego and the identity it has constructed over years, primarily during our formative years. However, dismantling this self-identity can be a formidable task. It was forged through years of subconscious programming and conditioning, making it a complex structure. Therefore, we must carefully and patiently peel away these layers of conditioning. Hastiness can lead to internal conflicts and resistance, hampering the integration of the shadow. Each internal confrontation can trigger resistance, such as the impulse to deny disowned aspects. This resistance impedes the process and maintains the ego's old self-identity. Yet with patience and sincerity, we gradually chip away at this false construct, dispelling self-deception. Shadow work can be a challenging and sometimes foreboding process, but it can also be liberating and grounding. The experience depends on the level of resistance, which varies from person to person. We highly recommend you perform a guided meditation that is available on YouTube called Healing the Shadow Self, made by Kirian. As much as we at Soul Dojo can show you the way, you have to walk the path yourself. We also highly recommend you read more on this topic, as we can only reach the top of the iceberg in this video lecture. For example, we recommend you read the shadow archetypes. We will make a full video on this soon. This journey only begins here. Your shadow is you. Don't deny it, don't kill it. Embrace it, love it, and your contribution to this world will be way more positive than you could ever imagine. In having healed yourself, you start to heal others. Humans are a net. If one node goes up, the others around it go up as well. So make sure you are going up for the sake of everyone around you. We put a lot of effort in this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and share with your friends who you think have the mental strength to endure this. And remember, the shadow is not your enemy because the shadow is you.